Barbarities, Volume 1 Review. I like the Flanny's fashion. Everybody wants to try me on. Adam, Viscount Canning. Viscount Adam Canning has quite a reputation as a lady keeter. He's very handsome and he knows it. So when an opportunity arises to act as bodyguard to Lord Montague, the Minister of Justice in the neighboring kingdom of Lorraine, and makes more conquests, he readily accepts. His new employer, Lord Montague, whose leave has been threatened, conceals his face behind a white wig and false beard, but when Adam meets Lord Montague's nephew, Joel, he's instantly smitten and proceeds to employ all his considerable charms to try to seduce him. But Joel is not so easily won over. Quite the opposite, and the more Adam pursues him, the more adamant his rejections become. Could it be that Joel and Lord Montague are one and the same person? Poor Adam is not used to be rejected, and this only increases his desire to conquer the reluctant Joel. However, life is not as peaceful as it should be in the kingdom of Lorraine. Lord Montague's coach is attacked. The King Christopher is still a child. His mother, Queen Eleonora, is originally from Siena, and there are growing protests against the Church of the Goddess. Lord Montague suspects that the trouble is being stirred up by outsiders by Siena, Adam's country, also worships the goddess, who also will be interested in fomenting the sending of Lorraine. The herd detains the other neighboring kingdom is Lord Louis Fredel, the nephew of the ailing king. The king has a son of his own, Luca, but the little boy has inherited his father's weak constitution, and to ensure a secure succession, the king's choices his little older brother's son in his stead. Louis is a strong-willed, self-confident, and ambitious young man, well aware of the dissent at court caused by his uncle's decision. Since that day, he amused himself traveling abroad with his servant and lover, Jill, for company, waiting for their summons back to Thames that they will inevitably come one day. He's steering the political pot, of course, setting up trouble to come. The first volume of Barbarities is most concerned with introducing readers to Adam, Joel, and Louis, establishing them and the world in which they live, gradually introducing the issues that concern them. Suto Suzuki is an experienced mangaka and storyteller and knows that she's doing. There's a lot of world building absorbed here, but she fits it in to the narrative as the story develops, so there's never a feeling of info being dumped on the reader. Joel clashes with Adam almost as soon as they met, and as Adam's seduction techniques fail to impress Joel. At one point, Joel is so annoyed he has Adam sent to prison to cool off. They spend more time to conversation together and perhaps begin to learn more about each other. In many ways, this is closer to a novel. The other is BL manga. Well, it's not manga that goes into such deep characterization. That comes to mind is Shoko Hidaka's Blue Morning. However, where Blue Morning is a historical graphic novel, Barbarities falls into the fantasy of manners category of fiction and will definitely appeal to fans of Ellen Kushner's Source Point, World of Ursula Le Guin's Malafrena. It's a European-style Renaissance-style imaginary setting, but without magic, or not has appeared so far. The comedy intrigue arises from the political machinations and character interactions, and this being Sota Suzuki, there's much playful wit to enjoy in the dialogue, as well as hints of the great danger looming in the future. Adam is an intriguing creation, unused to being rejected in matters of the heart and, in spite of being an illegitimate son, cherished by his adoptive father. So it's not surprising that the more Joel rejects Adam, the more he wants to win over Joel's heart. He insists that he's in love with Joel and he's never been in love before. But Joel is skeptical and wary of Adam's flattering words. "I want you to be here by my side," he says to Adam, but they're in private. But only as a treasured friend does Adam knew what he's saying. Of course not, and so the misunderstandings continue. The anime attraction is the art. Suto Suzuki has always had a distinctive graphic style, and this is her most striking and beautiful manga so far. Seven Seasons' handsome trade paperback edition showcases her art to perfection, and there are 4 color pages at the beginning, including a double spread. The lavish costumes, which are Renaissance influence, are drawn with great attention to detail, but it's a care taken with the character's facial expressions, and body language that really impresses. Suto Suzuki tends to be generous with extras afterwards, and here she doesn't disappoint with 3 pages about what went behind the scenes of Barbarities. We learned that this was originally intended to be a one-shot, but luckily for us readers, the mangaka was given more tiny volumes to explore the story for in total. Juggling Funk has delivered an enjoyable translation for 7 Seas and conveys the formality of some of the dialogue, kings, queens, ministers, as well as the more intimate conversations that take place in everyday life. The first volume, Barbarities, is all about setting the scenes and establish some fascinating characters in the world. The second vote, joined in April, promises to hike up the tension and the political intrigue into some 9 out of 10.